Panic in Motown. So maybe I can help you guys get through this a little bit with some positive talk here. And I'm not happy either, right? I didn't like what I saw either. Some things I liked, a lot of things I didn't like. So let's get into it. So, first of all, you have a desperate Minnesota team coming on the road against a team that already beat you once and beat you soundly and badly in your own building. So you have 1 week's worth of game or one previous game on tape. They made some really good adjustments. Brian Flores, blitz scheme, couldn't get there the first time around, got there yesterday. Pressure all day on Goff. To be honest with you, I'm surprised he didn't turn the ball over. You know, anybody, any quarterback in that position, surprised they didn't turn the ball over with that amount of pressure. That's just difficult to overcome. It's nonstop. He couldn't get comfortable. So I'm seeing it all over the place. I'm seeing panic. I'm seeing, oh boy, I'm seeing, John Morton. I'm seeing all kinds of stuff. What we saw yesterday, that's not a John Morton issue. The number one, well, there's two, but the number one main issue that we saw yesterday is the inability to protect. The offensive line was not good yesterday, and that's pre-Mahogany injury and Decker being banged up. It's like everybody just, it's just getting, that part is getting old. The walking mesh unit, I know it's with every team, but it seems, I don't know. It seems like a bug, and I don't blame refs. I don't blame injuries. I don't believe in any of that. It just gets frustrating to watch guy after guy after guy after guy after guy. Somebody comes back, he's gone. It's like, and that's the NFL. All right, I don't want to get into too far off here. The problems with the Lions yesterday all centered around the offensive line, the inability to protect. The inability to run the ball, the inability for Goff to get back and do some of the things that he does. And obviously, he's a play-action quarterback. And without the ability to run, the play action is far less effective, if effective at all. So I think that's a product of what we saw yesterday and why we saw things go the way that they did. All in all, this is not reason to panic. 5-3, 6-2 sounds a lot better. I get it. I'd rather be 6-2 right now. You have other teams, streaking like Seattle and others. It's like, yeah, you want to take care of your business. You want to handle. I mean, Seattle's not an impact on us, but you want to be able to streak like that. I get it. Indianapolis would be another one, 7-2. I'd much rather be 6-2, 7-2. We're not. We're 5-3. What I'm hoping that could come from this is the ability to grow and learn, because sometimes 7-1, 7-2, 8-1, 8-2, you start to. We saw it last year. Sometimes you need to be humbled a little bit. Sometimes you need these moments to look back on and say, "Hey, that's a moment that we turned the corner. That's a moment that binded us, etc." I wouldn't get too far off. If I said to anybody that we were 5-3 at the end of 8 games, would you bail? Would you jump out of the plane with a parachute or not a parachute? I mean, I had them winning yesterday. I get it. I had them winning by 13 to 17 points. That didn't happen. Amazing first drive. It's ding, boom, 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 zip, 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 7-0. I get it. And then one of the other things that we saw that was, what's up, 12-24? Another thing that we saw, and he never turns over the ball, was David Montgomery. That was a huge fumble and a huge moment. And those things happen. And sometimes they happen with guys you don't think they should happen with. So, there's some things to clean up. Campbell says this a lot, and I don't think people like this about him. I think they want him to just berate his team. He's not going to do that. There's things to clean up. They must improve. But, the Jeff Rieger, sorry, buddy, I'm going to call you out. Jeff Rieger from Detroit, for the last 25, 30 years, obviously I'm from Detroit. overreaction, panic. I don't know if it's to get clicks. Jeff goes way up and Jeff goes way down. There's no middle ground. And I used to be that way too. But if you really look through deeply at what it is we're dealing with, it should be able to read it with a little bit more, with a little bit less emotion, and understand that the league from week to week changes so much now. Sometimes you think you have it all figured out, just like the league in general, and then you don't. And sometimes we think that somebody's got it all figured out, and then they don't. Buffalo's defense has been horrible for most of the year. Yesterday, they looked like a well-oiled machine against Kansas City, who's got weapons all over the field. That was a hell of an effort by Buffalo. And I've been all over McDermott and all over Buffalo's defense. Well, they put it together yesterday for 60 minutes, 1-7 against a lethal, potent Kansas City team. And for the entire game, Mahomes didn't look comfortable. And only his brilliance, made some of those plays to keep it as close as it is. So this is the NFL, folks. There's more parity than ever before. And yes, there are some teams that are 7-2, Seattle and Indianapolis, I mentioned. I would take I'll be on Jason Whitlock's show today with the great Steve Kim. Probably about 11:30, 11:35, my segment starts, and we'll be talking about the Lions versus the Colts and who has a better future. I don't want to give too much of that away, but I would just submit to all you guys that the Lions are tested. They've been through this. They're extremely well coached. They're very good, and I would even say great adjusters. This talk, I would prefer, and I've said it since the beginning, I would prefer that John Morton be on the sidelines. And I know Campbell spoke on that. Other guys spoke on that it's not a big deal. It's not a problem. I would prefer him on the sidelines. I don't think any offensive coordinator should be up in the booth. People that report to you, that are in your ear, fine, put them up there. I mean, David Shaw's on the sideline. He's the passing coordinator. Hank Fraley is the run game coordinator and offensive line coach, and he's on the sidelines. Yes, I understand the advantages of being up in the booth and able to see the whole field develop. I got it. But that's why they have the iPads, and that's why you have a headset on and get what you need to get from somebody you trust. That part I would prefer. Beyond that, I don't believe that this is a product of John Morton. I don't. And if you put Ben Johnson back, this is a joke. I'm not even going to get started on that. If you put Ben Johnson back, Ben Johnson doesn't get your offensive line to perform last year's level versus this year's level. The Lions offensive line has been inconsistent this year, period. There is no sugarcoating that. If you cannot protect, you cannot run your offense. If your defensive line is suspect, and I'm not saying that they are, if your defensive line is suspect and you can't stop the run, well, then it's the same in the reverse. And the opposing team's offense is going to have a lot of success against you. Quite frankly, for as much as they are banged up, I'm not hating on the Lions for what I saw yesterday. And for the record, what I saw from J.J. McCarthy is what I expected. I'm on record for it. 2 days before the 2024 draft, the kid is a phenomenal player, and he's going to be a superstar. And the Colin Cowards of the world, sorry, Colin, I like you, and I like a lot of your stuff. I didn't used to like you, but I like you a lot more these days. But you're way off on J.J. McCarthy. I mean, this was as obvious as it could be to anybody who studied football that prior to that draft, in my view, that it was Jaden Daniels 1 and it was J.J. McCarthy, 1A. And the injury prevented it last year. And then 4 quarters, I think it was 4 or 5 quarters this year. Then another injury. This nonsense about, they weren't playing him because they were afraid that they picked the wrong guy. It's like, man, I don't know if there's conspiracy theories in football, but that's one of them. On the road, at home, at his coming home, on the road, at a Lions team off of a bye, your first game back after injury, you only, like I said, have 4 or 5 quarters underneath you. His stat line in terms of completions and yards is not like, extraordinary or anything. but 3 total touchdowns, great command of the offense, can make every throw, can get out of there when he needs to, can handle pressure. The moment's not too big for him. He's a natural leader. He has all of the ability. So why is anybody surprised, or even disappointed? That's a very talented team that has not played well, that had their backup quarterback, who was for about a year or 18 months, a top flight starter in the NFL, and then he wasn't. And that's Carson Wentz. Now you have your starter back in. Minnesota has their future back at the starting quarterback position, and Wentz is out for the year. Wentz is a backup. He's not a starter. He's a spot starter, but he's a backup. And, Minnesota doesn't even have a great running game, by the way. So, but they are an overall good team. They're extremely well coached on both sides of the ball, and they got the better of the Lions yesterday. Don't go off the cliff on this. Do not go off the cliff. So now we have the Commanders, the Eagles, the Giants, and the Packers. I always break down my analysis in quarters. First 4 games. I mean, it used to be 16 games, and it was easy. So 4 times 4. Now we have 4, 4, 4, and 5, or 5, 4, however you want to do it. I'm doing it 4, 4, 4, and 5 to give us 17 games. We're on the 3rd quarter right now. First 2 quarters, they're average. They're inconsistent. If anybody, yes, it's been a gauntlet of a schedule. Yes, you've had a lot of tough teams. Yes, you have some tough teams coming up. And if you think the Packers aren't pissed, I mean, the Packers lost to Carolina at home yesterday, and the Packers were flying. And I think the Packers are a great team, one of the best in the NFL. And you got beat by Bryce Young, who threw for 115 yards. You wonder how that could happen. That, again, goes back to the NFL can change 180 from one week to the next. That's the league now. People didn't want the Patriots. They didn't want the Patriots anymore. They didn't want Kansas City anymore. This is what you wanted. So this is what you got. It's not a bad thing. Who's the last standing at the end? And I still hold true to who that is. I still believe it's Kansas City from the AFC and the Lions from the NFC. Both teams lost yesterday. Both teams didn't look good. That doesn't change my outlook or my prediction. It doesn't. There's a whole lot more to go. The Lions have played 8 games. They have 9 left. That's an eternity. I mean, 17 games is a long season. And it's sometimes a tale of quarters, and it's a tale of 2 seasons a lot of times. So no overreaction in Motown. Jeff Rieger, I told you yesterday, just chill, man. Sit, not now, but yesterday, sit back and have a beer or something. Take a load off. And I haven't listened to the other guys, Woodward Sports and 97.1 and the others, but I'm sure they're all freaking out, because that's what we tend to do as humans and people who have a microphone in front of us. We want to talk about this and we want to talk about that. Stay the course. Dan Campbell is basically the best coach in football. I think all of us have our confidence. All of us Lions fans have our confidence in him. That should not wane. It is very clear what needs to be cleaned up. This is not like you don't have the talent. This is not like you are deficient, massively deficient at the most key positions of the team, where you just know you're going to come up short because the other team at their best and you at your best, you have no chance. That's not what this is. Clean up the turnover, clean up the offensive line, execute a little bit better, and I think we will be fine. They will be fine. I also said, a week ago, I have a feeling that the Lions are going to be more splashy at this trade deadline here in the next couple of days, more than what we're used to seeing. I think we might see something of relative significance, perhaps a Trey Hendrickson. And I've been all over this since the offseason that I wanted him. I have made special graphics, and I didn't even get rid of the graphics, and I've been posting them the last couple of days because it's relevant again, because they might dump him. And then they lost again yesterday when they shouldn't have lost that game, 47-42. Hey, Ben Johnson, how's your Dennis Allen experiment working? It's not. You're getting lit up, dude, and you still have a terrible quarterback. And Colston Loveland, I mean, football comes down to two very simple things sometimes: blocking, which the Lions didn't do very well, and tackling, which freaking Cincinnati didn't do very well. Colston Loveland should not be running for a touchdown. Like that is just like, you can't, that's bad. And that's technique, and that's coaching. And the Lions, you don't see that. You don't see those type of breakdowns. I mean, turnovers are part of the game. Ball gets punched out like that. You know, sometimes you're just a little bit out of the flow. Those are types of things that can be cleaned up. They have the right guys. They have the right system. They have the right scheme. They have the right next man up mentality. They are experienced. And I will talk about this on Jason Whitlock's show today about how they can pull from experience right now, whereas somebody like Indianapolis cannot pull from experience. They're new guys at quarterback, at tight end. There's new guys all over. And you're trying to put that together, and you're trying to succeed and go the distance. Much harder to do for somebody like that than it is for the Lions, considering where they've been together on this 4 or 5 year run and where they've been in the playoffs the last couple of years. That matters. So you don't blow up the ship here. You just don't like go, wrecking the facility today and, breaking glass and, ripping down whiteboards. You don't do it. You go back to the basics. You clean up your stuff. You get focused on Washington, who now just lost their quarterback for the next 4 or 5 weeks, and you prepare for Marcus Mariota. And again, and this is what's happened with the Lions this year, and I'm only going to spend a few more minutes with you guys. The Lions have played desperate teams all year long, and that matters. That matters. I cannot emphasize that enough as a former coach. Minnesota was a desperate team, and you already beat them. They had to win. Kansas City, when you played them, that was a desperate team, and you had to win. Washington this upcoming week, that's a desperate team, and they have to win. They just got blitzed 38-7. I mean, Sam Darnold had 240 yards or 270 yards, whatever it was, at halftime. You think Dan Quinn ain't going to have that team lit up? You don't think that there's enough leadership on that team that they're going to say, hey, let's rally together behind Marcus? And I'm not saying they're going to be world beaters with him. I don't actually believe that. But it's like they have reason to, they beat the Lions last year and got to the NFC Championship. That's a team that's well coached. There's a lot of pride there. They're going to come in humming. And then you got the Eagles the following week. So you're in a battle with them. You got the Giants. Everybody knows what I think about Jackson Dart. And then you got the Packers, who you're also jockeying with, who also aren't going to be happy. So everybody relax. Take a freaking Prilosec. I don't know, drink a beer after work. Go for a walk. I don't know, talk to your wife, talk to your girlfriend, or if you're a girl, talk to your boyfriend, talk to your husband. It's going to be okay. I'm not happy either. And I'm older now, but the younger me would have been freaking flipping today. I'm not, because it's not Jim Caldwell. It's not freaking Matt Patricia. It's not those guys. I have confidence in this staff and in this organization and in Brad Holmes. And I would expect something to be done here in the next 24 to 36 hours. And you should too. It's all going to be good. Now, you come do this next week against Washington, a beat up, banged up, Terry McLaurin out last night, a suspect running game. You've already lost Eckler. Now you've lost your quarterback. You got blitzed on Monday night. You're playing on a short week. You come do this next week against Washington, we're going to have a different Monday morning conversation if I do this again next Monday. I promise you. And I'll be blowing up X, during the game if I see something like what I saw this week. But I don't think that. Mahogany's down now. Next man up. Next. It's that simple, guys. All right. Listen, guys, girls, if you have not followed on X, please, the show is growing and your help is so appreciated. We've got like a lot of people, like anytime I go on now, they're following. And I appreciate so many of them, 1224 and Zach and Jesus and ETF, all of those guys. I appreciate it. Would love to have more of you. Follow on X at PB Sports Talks with an S on the end. On YouTube, which more and more material is going up there at PB Sports Talk. on Facebook at PB Sports Talk. And more you're seeing me with Jason Whitlock. I will be live today, roughly in about 90 minutes or so. And I'll be in my segment, which got about 6 topics. It's pretty lengthy. You can see it right on X, what we'll be discussing. Steve Kim will be opposite of me. And Jason obviously will be there, and we'll be talking about lots of great things. And I hope you join us. Subscribe to Jason at Jason Whitlock on YouTube. You can watch the show or rewatch it on replay right on YouTube. Follow him on Apple. Please subscribe on YouTube and give a 5-star rating on Apple. That helps him. And we'll see where this is going with me. I'm excited about the possibilities and the prospects of what we're doing together. I believe this will be my 6th time on the show. Super excited for the segment today. I've never been with Steve. Guy's a human encyclopedia, and I have to be at my very, very best just to even stay close with him. So I'll put my best foot forward. I hope you guys tune in. And again, thanks for all your support. And Lion fans, just breathe. It's going to be okay. I promise you. And if I'm wrong, you could come at me, but I do think we're going to be okay. All right, everybody, have a great Monday and have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. See you on Whitlock about 11:30, 11:35. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.